The new GTX 1080 and 1070 look absolutely incredible and their specs are off the table, but before you pre-order them or buy them, you're going to want to watch the rest of this video. So, quickly looking back at the GTX 1080 specs, what is there not to like? Now, 8GB of DDR5X memory will act as a great frame buffer, especially if you're wanting to play games in VR and in 4K. And with a base clock speed of 1607 MHz, we're able to squeeze a lot more speed out of the card, which when you compare it to the Titan X's 1000 MHz, you can get an idea of why this card is going to be 35% more efficient than the Titan X and why it is probably going to be the new GPU king. Not to mention a boost clock speed of 1733 MHz, which is what we'll be playing on if we're playing high intensive games. And when this all comes in a package that draws only 180 watts from the wall, there's hardly anything to complain about. Oh, and did I mention it's $400 less than the Titan X? That's incredible. Oh, and there's the new Nvidia VR Works audio, which is going to make gaming in VR a whole lot more immersive, and with the improvements to VR rendering, we're going to be able to play a lot more graphically demanding games with it. I just can't wait, but I should. And here's the reasons why. Now, the fact that both of the cards are said to be able to outperform the Titan X, and with the 1080 especially able to outperform two GTX 980s in SLI is pretty incredible. And especially when you look at the price point, where you have the 1070 starting at about $380, which works out about 270 quid for us. And then we also have the 1080 coming in at $599, which is equivalent to the UK £450, which is mind-boggling. And it's incredible, and it's going to start out an all-out war with the AMD side of the fence, which we'll get onto later. Take into consideration the power watt consumption, which is ridiculously low. You have a new king for the graphics cards. I'm saying this and you're probably wondering why the hell is he saying don't buy the cards yet. There are several reasons for this, and believe me when I say I have been thinking about pre-ordering this card. I have a 980 Ti, it works fine, but the improvements for VR gaming is so dramatic. It will vastly improve me when I'm playing on the HTC Vive, which at the moment I haven't had a single problem. I want to just state that there. 980 Ti's are going to be fine for those who just want to start into the VR, but once the games become a lot more graphically demanding and processor demanding, you're going to want to upgrade that. Now, firstly, when we look at the specifications that Nvidia have provided, notice that all of the reviews had been, I know there's a few that are cropping up now that are actually third party, but most of the reviews and specs have all been done in-house by people they've paid off. And the thing with that is they've probably taken a large group of GPUs, and as we know, all GPUs are different. Some of them are able to be faster than others, some slightly slower. Even of the same make and model, it's the same with CPUs. Now, what Nvidia probably did was, as I say, test a whole load and then just cherry pick the best cards for their performance. And then what they also did on top of that, no doubt, is probably pick the games that are best optimized with these graphics cards compared to, say, 980s in SLI, or even the Titan X, which is getting on a bit now. And before you pre-order the GTX 1080 or 1070, both awesome cards, I recommend having a look at third-party reviews and look at several and get a good idea at how the card's averaging out for its specifications and benchmark reviews. Now, secondly, Polaris is right round the corner. Yes, that's AMD's new card, and we're expecting to hear some news within the next few weeks, end of May, early June, and we can expect to see another 2 GPUs from them. And the big thing here is, yes, AMD don't tend to be as good in terms of the higher end chips. They're very good at going for chips that are efficient and bang on for your money. If you're wanting a higher card, it's normally better to go with Nvidia. AMD, however, have been always very good with their Crossfire, and I've got a feeling that if their best cards, the new Polaris chips, can pull a few punches at the 1070, they have said that they are looking to bring the cards to a lower enthusiast level in terms of price point. They want to make VR a lot more accessible, and that's where this is going to really start to kick in. If you have a AMD card that is almost as good as a 1070 at a lower price, chances are if you can crossfire it effectively, then you're going to have a card that can outperform the 1080 at potentially a lower price. If we think about the price being, let's say 230 quid for AMD's new card. If you get 2, that's 460. The GTX 1080 is going to be 450 quid. So for an extra tenner, you might actually gain a better card. Essentially, I know it's 2 cards, but depending on how efficient their cards are, it could be worth the while in investing in. Now, regardless of whether you want an AMD card or straight for Nvidia's cards, regardless of if you're a fanboy for a particular company, I still recommend waiting, simply because when the new cards are released in new specs, we're going to see a bit of a battle, I suspect. There normally is, but with Nvidia bringing these cards in at such a low price point, AMD has no choice but to fight, and it's going to be on their terms, seeing as they're the second one to release the new cards. Now, the great thing about this is, one, we might see price drops in the GTX 1080, 1070 pre-orders, or we may also see bundled games with them, which is also another win-win situation for all of us gamers. Another thing to bear in mind is, once that war starts, people who already have for example myself with the 980 Ti, if I want to go up to a 1080, I'm going to be wanting to sell my graphics card, in which case I'm probably going to be selling it for 200 quid or something like that. There's no way I'm going to be able to sell my card at a price that's comparable to the new cards. So people are going to be able to pick up second-hand cards at a much at a greater value. It's going to be a lot less, and it's going to work just as well. And I mean, you do have to worry to a certain extent if someone's super overclocked to their GPU and taken 10 years off it for whatever reason. That is a worry. But then again, also look at stockists. Stockists are going to be selling their older stock to bring in the newer one, so it's likely we're going to see some good bargains on current gen GPUs. So for those who don't need the VR powerhouse that is the GTX 1080, but you want an upgrade anyway, have a look at the 980s, have a look at the 980 Ti's, or the 970s even. You don't need to go straight for the newest and bestest card if you're not running a 4K setup or a VR setup, and that way you can save a lot of money without needing to go for the newer cards. Anyway guys, that's all I have time for in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, obviously like the video. I am doing a computer build guide at the moment. I say computer build guide, it's more a log of how my build went, and I'm also going to be doing monthly part lists for budget PCs and enthusiast rigs. Also, if you want to see more things, anything gaming, please check out my channel. I do a lot of gaming. Would love you to subscribe, and I'd love to see you in my new videos. Anyway guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.